United States Auto Club featuring the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. It is the final round of competition here for Winter Dirt Games presented by Yokohama Tire, and we are coming to you from Ocala Speedway. Everything leading up to tonight, points accrued, 5 drivers locked in, everybody else having to race their way in to determine the lineup there. Of course, those that are locked in, they'll go into a dash to determine their lineup, and this week has not been without drama.
No, certainly not. It looked at every night, Brian, there has been some sort of drama. Last night you have guys like Logan Seavey having massive issues, Robert Ballou with the big scary crash, CJ Leary wrecking their only primary car, at least out of the Leary Racing stable. He's still here in the house tonight with Hunter Maddox's backup car, but yeah, drama aplenty, and it was so cool to see Moose Racing back in victory lane too, Brian. Chase Stockon and Tom and Lori Surdich put so much into this sport. Glad to see their efforts rewarded with another win here last night.
I was trying to decide who was more excited, Tom or Chase.
I would lean towards Tom. Tom was hyped up over that one.
He was just as hyped, it says, standing behind the car. But one of the drivers you mentioned, Logan Seavey, comes in. He's had some really good consistent runs. The team's really finding their speed a lot earlier than what they found last year. And comes off a turn 4 just that much too high, hits the flat, he hits the wall. Luckily, ends up just spinning around. Robert Ballou comes back right about the same spot, but just a little bit more speed, buries it in, picks the car up, and just throws it down the front straightaway. Fortunately, he is okay, because the concern there is coming back from that back injury, but he popped up out of that car like it was no big deal. They've got the spare car down, and they're ready to rip here tonight.
I actually talked to Robert after we went off the air last night on FloRacing, and like you were saying, Brian, too, Robert's had not only that injury last year, but he's kind of had a history of injuries with big, scary crashes like that. So it was really good to catch up with the Robert Ballou last night after the fact. He's good to go, as you said, got the backup car down there ready to rip. And Logan Seavey, you were just talking about him too. Wild night. Same thing as Robert, just got a little bit too high off of turn number 4. Fortunately for him, it wasn't as serious. And if that wasn't all the drama they needed after going to the Indy Metal finishing work area once, when that red with Robert, they went out again to the Indy Metal finishing work area. Still a beaten, battered race car, was blowing up at the end, still somehow ends up 11th, and he's locked into the show.
Yeah, the engine's letting go. The front axle looked like a wet spaghetti noodle, but he was able to lock it in. You actually had a chance to kind of talk to him about all that and really talk about how his season's gone so far.
Logan Seavey heads into the finale of Winter Dirt Games 2026 presented by Yokohama Tires as your high point man. But last night, Logan, it definitely came with some theatrics. You bounced off the wall. You had motor issues, a stop or two in the Indy Metal finishing work here. Just take us through the madness that was your feature event last night.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. We started 11th, and my car was so good off the start. I went by a few guys, and I was right on CJ, and I'd gotten a few good runs on him, and then he ducked to the bottom, and I thought that was my chance to go around him, so I kind of hustled the top, and I didn't really think I was in trouble at all. I thought I was okay. I was kind of down on the banking, and I don't know if it was just that early fuel load or what. I kind of backed it in there, and the car just kind of got stuck on the right rear, and I said I got through the middle of the corner, and I thought I was fine, and on exit, like I said, I was just kind of laid right with a bunch of fuel early, and I just kept sliding to the right, and the turn 4 wall above it kind of hit me, and broke the wheel and kind of bent the ladder and pushed the front axle back pretty far. So they fixed the wheel, and when I went in the first time, put a new tire and wheel on it, and sent me back out, and we went green and had it red right away, and I knew my car wasn't right yet. So, with 31 laps left and, still a good racetrack to race on, I wanted to get back in and fix it as much as I could so we could try to run through the field. And they put a new ladder on, and that helped a lot. But yeah, I think we drove up to 8th, and then the motor blew up on us there. So eventful night. Because I went in the work area twice, and we were still able to kind of run through the field there. Got to 8th, and we're kind of right there with good cars, with Justin and Briggs, and it was a little trickier to pass when you get to those guys. But I thought that maybe we salvaged our night, and then with about 5 to go, lost some important parts come flying at the bottom. So. We just kind of idled around on the bottom, hoping just to make it to the end and, get out of the way just in case it doesn't make it to the end. I can get off the racetrack. But we kind of limped her around to 11th and did what we could to kind of salvage what we had.
You talked about the car still not being 100% right when you came out of the Indy Metal finishing work here. Even the last time, even still with that front axle push back, all sorts of other parts and pieces damaged with this race car, you were still hustling this car. As a matter of fact, a few times you were faster than eventual race winner Chase Stockon just on lap times. How in the world were you able to make speed with such a torn up race car like you were?
Yeah, the front axle was pushed back a lot with the right front, and yeah, it kind of messes with the balance a little bit. Makes it really feel uncomfortable. You kind of lose all your spring rate with the right front, and you got a bunch of reverse front steers. So yeah, and I think we kind of maybe knocked some camber into it too. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel good, doesn't steer good, but if I can keep the car rotated, which luckily here at Bubba, if you make a good lap, you can kind of keep the car rotated, and the right front maybe doesn't matter as much as it does at other places. So yeah, like I said, getting into one was a little hairy, but other than that, you kind of keep the car out and rotated and keep the right rear spinning a little bit. You can kind of keep the car turning and, yeah, make some good laps. I don't know if those laps were, Chase messing up or chasing traffic, or maybe we really were just that fast. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it didn't really matter at the end of the day. We got to, got to where I thought would be a decent finish, and then the engine let go. So yeah, so that's just kind of where we're at. We got to back up in this thing for tonight, and we won a bunch of races with this engine too. So feeling pretty good. Yeah, we'll see what we draw for the dash, and just kind of go from there. So yeah, overall speed-wise, like I said, even with a little bit beat-up race car, we're fast. So I feel as confident as ever coming here to Bubba with a win now and with some speed, and the guys are feeling really good about what we have.
You talked about the dash tonight, so something a little bit different than we have in non-wing sprint car racing. What's going to be the key? I say the key. I know part of it is a good draw number in the dash, but overall, what's going to be the key to making sure you get a good finish in the dash and eventually put together a solid run to walk away with the big check here tonight at Ocala?
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, hopefully we just get a good draw, and that takes away some of it. But night one we won from 7th, so yeah, we can race with any of these guys in the dash. I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, hopefully, like I said, hopefully we just start with a good draw and then we go from there. But yeah, I think those first few laps of the feature are going to be pretty key. In the middle of the race, I kind of think what we saw last night, we're going to see a little bit again tonight with kind of the line we were all running, and it's just really hard to get turned down to the bottom this year at Ocala. There's a little bit of grip down there, but it's really hard to get down there compared to years past. I feel like the guys that knew how to run the bottom at Ocala could really get turned down 4 and get a big advantage, but this year it seems like the top and 3 and 4 has been a little faster. So yeah, we'll just kind of see what they give us for a racetrack, and they've been doing a great job. The last 2 nights have been spectacular, so we're having a lot of fun out here at Bubba, which is always good. But yeah, hopefully we draw good, get a good spot to, start early and not have to work too hard in the beginning. But if we don't, yeah, I feel good about what Kirk and Danny and T-Bone and Chris and Vinny have been giving me all week to go race with these guys. Like I said, last night we were able to do a little bit, and, the first night, or night 2 when we won, we were able to drive by a lot of good cars. So hopefully a little bit of that tonight too.
Logan Seavey after the big money here at Ocala Speedway tonight in the Abacus Racing 57 with a new power plant underneath the hood.
So good to hear from the Abacus Racing camp. And looking to the next driver you had to speak with is Shelby Hinton. And for those of you that maybe aren't quite familiar with, Shelby coming out of the micro ranks, former champion of National Open Wheel 600 Series, getting up into the midgets and now into the sprint car side. And to be hooked up with Bennick Enterprises with Scott and that knowledge base is definitely got to really work well for him in learning how to get these cars around the track.
The same could be said for Derek Claxton as well. Derek Claxton spent a lot of time in this sport over the years with a lot of really great teams too. So you put those 2 minds together to mold a young driver like Shelby Hinton too. That's super great to see. And Shelby dipped his toes in the water last season with the National Series with Phillips Motorsports. Had some good runs over the course of his few starts too. So good to see Shelby full-time on the national tour with a team with a lot of experience. Week hasn't really started out how they were hoping to, but they're on the up and up. Last night was their best run of the week so far with the 12th place run. And talking to Shelby earlier today, he felt really good about what they had in that 2B racing machine.
Yeah, with the limited time he's had in the car and the limited time he's had in a sprint car, no surprise to maybe have a little bit of a slower start, but the fact of the matter is that every night he's progressed, he's gotten a lot better. Let's hear what he had to say.
Shelby Hinton is another one of the first-year drivers with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Championship, taking on the full season slate for the first time here in 2026. And Shelby, I know the week really didn't start off for you here at Winter Dirt Games how you're hoping, but last night your best run of the week. What have you been learning throughout the week that's went into that result, and maybe even a better result here on the final night?
Oh, just, everybody in this pit area starting to clash together and make one group project. The first 4 nights or so, we tried multiple different things in multiple different directions and just couldn't get anything working for us. And last 2 nights, like Scott, me, Dad, Derek, everybody just kind of put our heads together and tried to make something of it. And we've got the car to do certain things good and certain things bad. And then last night we finally got a full race car, just got it too late in the night. And I mean, we went forward quite a bit, and we tied Briggs for the most cars passed in the feature. Just we were just too far back, and hopefully tonight we can carry that speed that we found at the end of last night in the start of the night and go forward on a heat race.
You talked about Scott Bennick, of course, the car owner here on the 2B Racing Machine, and Derek Claxton. Both those guys have done so much in the sport of non-wing sprint car racing. How valuable is it for you as a rookie to have two experienced guys like that in your corner?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, both of them absolutely know what they're doing, and anything you give them, they know where to go. And I think these last two nights, the track surface itself has been pretty fair to us, and where the first few nights it was just tough on a lot of people. But yeah, like Scott and Derek, them two working together and me giving them everything I can from a feedback standpoint. I mean, they're two of the best to do it, and they prove it to me every night. I just got to do my job.
Last year we saw you some on the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Championship Trail, so you got experience in that regard, experience building throughout Winter Dirt Games here in 2026. But for you as a first-timer on the USAC National Trail, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge or even the toughest swing that you're going to have to endure this season?
To be honest, I think this swing right here is the hardest of the whole season. The dirt is unlike any other. The track surface and shapes are unlike any other, and we knew it was going to be tough coming down here, just because it's the start of the new season, and with us, it's being our first real stretch together. We knew it was going to be tough, but we're starting to get it together, and I hope tonight it really shows.
Well, that's good for Shelby Hinton when he says this is the toughest swing of the year, because it's almost over. Last night here at Winter Dirt Games presented by Yokohama Tires, here tonight at Ocala Speedway.
Good to hear from both drivers as cars begin to make the way down into the infield as we get ready to go into Dirt Draft Hot Laps here in just a little bit. The stage already set. Drivers slotted into qualifying races based off of their accumulated Winter Dirt Games points here at Ocala Speedway. Top 5 of those points already locked into tonight's feature event. They will go into the Fast Dash. Your heat race winners will join them in that dash. The ones that are already locked in will redraw for their starting position in the dash. And, of course, with Dirt Draft Hot Laps coming up, that means you still have time to set your lineup. Download the Dirt Draft app today. Set your league and play against your friends, family, your neighbor, even the guy that's sitting next to you. And you can go into one of 3 leagues now. Not only have they changed the entire user interface, but also 3 different leagues. You have the Pro League, which will lock in. It's already locked in, actually. The Veteran League, which locks in a heat race number 1, as we will not have qualifying tonight, as everybody is already slotted into their qualifying races. So qualifier number 1 will act like heat race number 1. So your Veteran League and your Rookie League, which locks into the start of your A feature. Of course, predictive contests and new subscribers get that $10 gift card to the Hoosier Tire online merchandise store. But as always, we've got drivers going head-to-head in the Pro Public Lobby.
We certainly do, Brian. Kyle Cummins has been on a bit of a tear lately with the Dirt Draft Driver v. Driver matchup, but he finally got defeated. If I remember correctly, he has won pretty much every night of the Driver v. Driver contest. We thank Kyle for playing, but it was Cale Coons that actually defeated him. He goes up against Mitchell Moles tonight, and like you said, Brian, they are playing in the Pro Lobby this evening. So we'll start off with Mitchell Moles. He's on the left-hand side of your screen at USAC Driver 1. He's chosen Jake Swanson, Briggs Daner, Trey Osborne, Jaden Rogers, and Cale Coons. As I said, Cale Coons is opposition of the night to the right-hand side of your screen at USAC Driver 2 when you play with our friends Dirt Draft in that post-race public lobby. He has chosen Chase Stockon, Briggs Daner, Jaden Rogers, Ricky Lewis, and himself. Reminder to play against our USAC drivers tonight in the Pro Public Lobby when you play with our friends at Dirt Draft as we get ready to go for the final night of Winter Dirt Games presented by Yokohama Tire.
Speaking of Yokohama Tires, remember, they don't just make tires, they make history. The presenting sponsor of Winter Dirt Games for its 17th edition. They'll be the title sponsor of the USAC Eastern Storm, happening June 16th through the 21st when we head to Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Check them out at yokohamatire.com, helping to bring the Winter Dirt Games point fund to $24,000. And tonight, somebody walking away with $12,000 of that as your Winter Dirt Games champion. AMSOIL is the title sponsor of the USAC Sprint Car National Championship. The AMSOIL, shop by vehicle tool at amsoil.com, takes the guesswork out of picking the best oil and filter combination for your vehicle. Choose the right product and packaging option and enjoy fast, free delivery right to your door. Go to amsoil.com to learn more. You can also go out into the merchandise area and speak with your local AMSOIL dealer. Randy's back there. You can go chat with him and talk about all the great things that you can get when you begin using AMSOIL. Of course, you also have time to swing by the USAC merchandise trailer. It is right caddy cornered to AMSOIL, and sign up to potentially be tonight's AMSOIL Inside the Oval winner, where you and a guest, if your name is picked, will get a prize pack, you'll get to ride in the pace truck, and the opportunity of a lifetime to watch tonight's USAC Sprint Car feature event from the infield. The drawing for that will be immediately following our qualifying races, so make sure you get down there and get signed up now. And, of course, while you're down there, the very limited supply of Winter Dirt Games apparel, as the numbers are dwindling, make sure you get down there where your size is still in stock. Of course, the lifestyle wear, decals, koozies, and more, all available at the USAC merchandise trailer. Driver merchandise also available in there this week. Gail Coons and Jaden Rogers with their merchandise set up inside the USAC merchandise trailer. Brady Bacon is set up back there. Kevin Thomas Jr. with CJ Leary and Jake Swanson. Remember, you can mix and match those products. They have some specials going on down there when you swing by the Kevin Thomas Jr. merchandise trailer. Robert Blue has Tom Harris merchandise at his trailer as well. Chase Stockon and Moose Racing, Kyle Cummins, and Briggs Danner all back there with merchandise for sale. And, of course, after the races, we encourage you to go down and meet the drivers, as several teams also with merchandise at their trailers. Trey Osborne, one of those drivers in the pits that has T-shirts available when you head down there after the races. K&N Filters also set up down in Merchandise Row. Make sure and swing by and talk to them and see how they can get you set up, not only for your vehicle, but your home filtration as well. Make sure and check them out and get more information at knfilters.com. When you make your way into the grandstands, that's a perfect time to stop by and get a complimentary can of NOS Energy, as the sampling station is located right as you make your way up into the main entrance here. You can find a retailer near you at drinknos.com and follow them on social media at NOS Energy Drink. Cookout presents always fresh, never frozen burgers, barbecue, and hot dogs, all cooked fresh every day. And get this, over 40 different flavors of shakes, all prepared by hand and made fresh every day. It's all yours. Find a Cookout location near you. Go to cookout.com. Sunoco is the world's largest manufacturer of racing fuels, has been in the standard of motorsports for over 50 years. Check out SunocoRaceFuels.com for more information. CarIQ has created a payment solution aimed at fleets that allows cars and trucks to connect to gas pumps to pay for fuel without the need of a fuel card or a credit card. CarIQ Payment Solutions, CarIQ Pay, replaces fleet card products and protects against fraud while significantly reducing back-office vehicle reconciliation. Learn more at GoCarIQ.com today. Hoosier Tire's mission? It's to be the dominant, customer-driven provider of racing tires to racing teams domestically and internationally. For more information on the tires designed for champions, go online to HoosierTire.com. The new standard of sprint car body technology has arrived, and it's engineered with optimized airflow for maximum downforce and increased horsepower, and it's available in multiple high-performance material options, so every team can build the right body package for their program. Shop now at 5starbodies.com. Whether you're running a go-kart, a micro, a midget, a modified sprint car, late model Silver Crown, or even the tractor, Rod Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you to lead the field at performing to your maximum potential. Remember, they don't just sell them, they race them. Go to rodsupply.com for more. Parallax Group offers world-class power supply products to the RV industry. Parallax Group delivers high-quality assemblies and manufacturing solutions in North America that exceed client expectations, focusing on quality and efficiency to ensure their products lead the industry. Go to ParallaxGroupInc.com for more. Of course, Parallax Group also bringing you the Passing Master, the week-long Passing Master bonus, $400 up for grabs at the close of tonight's program. Brady Bacon leading that at 29, Shelby Hinton trailing by 1 at 28, Chase Stockon at 23, Cale Coons at 21, Kevin Thomas Jr. at 20, Kyle Cummins and Briggs Danner each at 19, Tom Harris, Logan Calderwood at 17, and Robert Blue has advanced position 16 times. Of course, the season-long Parallax Passing Master will be a $2,500 bonus at the close of the 2026 season, but also that extra $400 up for grabs here this week, and Bacon right now at the top of the charts. MPI takes every aspect of construction and safety to heart in the most accurate and dedicated way possible. Before becoming an MPI product, structures must pass an internal quality test. Safety in construction R&D is paramount, and all MPI innovation products, including steering wheels, gloves, and seats. For more, go to maxpapasinc.com. Of course, the Max Pappas Innovations Rookie of the Year chase, including 2 drivers on the roster, a Max Pappas Innovation steering wheel, and a $5,000 check awaiting your 2026 Rookie of the Year. When drivers head to the work area, they're going to the Indy Metal Finishing work area. Their mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Visit them today at indymetalfinishing.com. $60,000 to win the championship with the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship. The points fund approaching $300,000, and there is also the Mike Curb USAC National Drivers Championship returning in 2026 at its highest payout ever. At $20,000, the bonus is awarded to the driver who accrues the most combined points across each and every points-paying USAC Silver Crown, AMSOIL National Sprint Car, and NOS Energy Drink National Midget Series event. Last year, Justin Grant, the recipient of that, at a $15,000 payday. This year, upping to $20,000. Indy Power Sports offers the vehicles and equipment you want, plus the service and parts you need to keep them running in top shape, including ATVs, electric bikes, motorcycles, and utility vehicles. Browse their full inventory to see everything they have in stock, both new and used, at indy-powersports.com. Four-wheelers and side-by-sides with the United States Auto Club, powered by Indy Power Sports. Of course, make sure to follow us on Facebook. Simply search for USAC Racing, on X and Instagram at USAC Nation. Download the My Race Pass app today, and you can also save $20 on your premium membership if you are a new user. Simply go to myracepass.com/USAC26. That's myracepass.com/USAC26. Use promo code USAC26 when signing up, again, to receive $20 off your premium MRP membership. A reminder, anything you see on the My Race Pass app, as well as our social media feeds, is unofficial. Official news, notes, points will be done at the close of the night's program at usacracing.com. Having the drivers buzz each end of the speedway here as we get the track worked in. Before we go into dirt draft hot laps, might see a few extra laps here as we do not have the benefit of qualifying tonight to also help work the racetrack in. Of course, you can still play along at nxt.com/playusac, where when our drivers win, you win. If you're on the broadcast right now, you can scan the QR code. Quick reminder, the odds provided to USAC by nxtbets.com. They have Logan Seavey as the odds on at 153, Kyle Cummins at a +211, Brady Bacon at a 352. A little further down the list, they've got Mitchell Moles at a 1495, Chase Stockon, last night's winner, at a 2231, CJ Leary at a long shot odd at 3446. But again, when our drivers win, you win when you play at nxtbets.com/playusac. And a reminder, don't fall into the throes of addiction. You can fight back at 1-800-GAMBLER. So drivers continuing to circle the Ocala Speedway. A look at the points coming into tonight's racing action. Logan Seavey, his points lead, getting cut a little bit. Having a little bit of a rough go of it after contact with the wall. Was still able to drive it up to an 11th place finish last night. 347 markers earned. Brady Bacon making up some ground on him at 335 earned so far. Chase Stockon, third after the win last night, 323 points. Jake Swanson tied with him right now. Kyle Cummins at 322. Kevin Thomas Jr. at 310 points. Justin Grant at 287. 286 for Mitchell Moles. Trey Osborne at 283. And Briggs Danner currently in the top 10. 280 points earned so far. Of course, once we get done tonight, we'll have a little bit of a break before we kick things back off in the Midwest. That'll be during the month of April. Red Hill on April 3rd, Paragon on April 4th with the USAC Gainesville Sprint Kart National Championship. As we'll come back to life. On April 3rd at Red Hill, Paragon. Following that, we'll have April 11th at Lawrenceburg Speedway. It'll be the Justin Owen Memorial, the Jim Hurtubise Classic, the following night at the Terre Haute Action Track on April 12th. Kicking off the season for the USAC NOS Energy Drink National Championship at the Kokomo Grand Prix. That will be at Kokomo Speedway on April 24th and 25th. Getting into the month of May, that's when things really pick up. We will kick things off with the Larry Rice Classic at Bloomington, the Spring Showdown at the Class Track at Tri-State Speedway. And then Silver Crown kicks off their season, practice on May 8th and racing on May 9th. That'll be out in Hutchinson, Kansas with the Salt City 100. And, of course, then that leads up into Let's Race 2 when we pair up with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. That'll be at Eldora Speedway on May 15th and 16th. For more information on all of these events, again, you can find the full rundown at usacracing.com. IMCA Stealth Racing Mod Lights also on the card tonight. I believe 27 of those drivers have checked in. They will have a full program. They will come out for their hot laps. That will count as their qualifying effort. Their qualifying will be straight up into the heat races. And at last check, they are planning on starting everybody in the modifieds in their feature event here tonight. So drivers in Dirt Drive Hot Lap Session number 1 remain on the speedway. Take a look onto the backside of the racetrack. Find the number 16 here on the front straightaway as they continue to have the drivers buzz the turns. That is Trey Osborne out of Columbus, Ohio. Driver of the Industrial Hydraulics Incorporated, Jeff Hill Trailer Sales, Mopar Triple X Chassis, Beachwold Automotive, Hidden Hoof Hollow Farms, number 6T. Ocala runs include a win on Wednesday, a 6th place finish on Thursday, and 8th place run last night for the driver of the number 6T. Staying with the number 6, we got Logan Calderwood out of Goodyear, Arizona, the MP Environmental, one-way Triple X Chassis, JST Shock Technologies, CKW Designs, number 6, coming off of a 14th place run last night. His best run so far this week, Wednesday, with a 13th place finish. Harley Burns out of Brazil, Indiana, the Britt Arrow, Timberland Lumber Company, 16 Chevrolet DRC, the AceCorp.com, Youngblood Farms, number 16, 20th last night here. Best run so far this week was Wednesday, a 12th place finish for the driver of the Britt Arrow machine, the 5G, Gunnar Setzer. 15th place yesterday in Superior Ag, Daywig Meat, Stanton Flea RC Chassis, number 5G. Best run so far here during Winter Dirt Games, a 9th on Thursday. Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, starting off with a trio of top 10s, a pair of top 5s in there. Thursday, a little bit of a slump, a 22nd place finish. Yesterday, rebounding to a 7th place run behind the wheel of the E. Schneider & Sons Recycling, Ryder DRC, Keystone Cap Boulevard Truck Repair, number 39. And of Rothwell, Northamptonshire, United Kingdom, the Benson's Products, KD Transport Solutions, Scott Baylor Maxim, Turkey Seeds, 7nights.com, number 97 UK, says Ryan Harrison. Harrison with his best run of the week so far last night, a 16th place finish for the driver from beyond the pond. 50-50 tickets on sale. She is down at the front of the grandstands right now. Looks like blue and white tickets in her hands. Again, half of the 50-50 money going into your pocket, the other half going to help one of Ocala Speedway staff members who is dealing with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So a great cause. We encourage you to be a part of that, as they'll sell you buy the ticket. It looks like the wingspan as well. Got them down there buying them by the arm length right now, so make sure and get your 50-50 ticket. Sober Joe's Coffee is in the house. They will be coming up, and they will be going through the grandstands collecting donations, as all of the proceeds collected throughout the week are going to the Oxford House here in Ocala. And, of course, they do great work back in Indiana as well. We've seen them up at Bloomington Speedway. Look forward to seeing them throughout the 2026 season. Frank and everybody back there do a great job. Go back, buy you some Sober Joe's coffee. They've had some giveaways this week. Not sure if they have anything left, but make sure and go back there and check out the great cause, and also giving back to the racers that $100, the Sober Joe's Recovery of the Night. Jaden Rogers, the most recent recipient of a crisp $100 bill. So if you're just joining us here on the FloRacing broadcast, a few extra laps here during Dirt Draft Hot Laps to help work the racing surface in. As again, lineups for your qualifying races established using accumulated points throughout the course of the week, so we will not have Learn Lab qualifying here today. Quick recap of your Learn Lab qualifying quick timers so far this week. Jake Swanson, kick of the season off of Volusia, a 16.489. The following night, Kevin Thomas Jr., 17.145. Kyle Cummins getting a quick time award so far this week at a 14.675, 13.907 for Briggs Danner. And then last night it was Justin Grant, a 13.910. As the drivers from Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1 make their way down into the pits, we'll bring out Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2. Again, these are in the order of the qualifying races. Drivers already locked in to the Fast Dash. Again, those are the 5 highest in accumulated Winter Dirt games presented by Yokohama Points. Will be the 4th flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. They will also stop down and redraw for their starting positions. So the next group of drivers about to make their way out onto the Speedway. And they are going to be led out by the driver to Coleman, Alabama, the Majestic Electric Inland Rigging Bird Racing, Stanton-powered Mach 1 chassis, Rocksteady race number 3R of Kevin Thomas Jr. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 3R, picking up his second, third place finish of Winter Dirt Games last night. The team battling fuel gremlins pretty much since the word go, resulting in an engine change the other night. But a good run last night for Kevin Thomas Jr., again getting up on the show step of the podium. Chase Howard in the 13. That team has had a little bit of a rough go with equipment this week. Things rolling and ready to go here this evening in the Two Fellas Moving Company. Howard Racing Engine, Mach 1 chassis, Rada Supply, ShopBangReduct.com. Kaiser Wheels number 13. Yesterday, they handed over controls of the spare car to Kobe Simpson. And unfortunately, they got a set of windows they did not order out of the side of the block of that thing. So Kobe, unfortunately, is done. Of course, Simpson getting upside down earlier this week on the back straightaway. Driver just rolling past the number 13 is the number 12. Another driver taking a pretty wicked ride this week. Yesterday here on the front straightaway, a little bit too high, caught the shelf exiting turn number 4, and it launched him down the front stretch. The madman, Robert Ballou to Rockley, California, the Suburban Subaru, Deaton's Waterfront Service, Berks Western Telecom, England Machine and Tool, Hinchman Indy number 12. The good news, once he landed, even with the rough landing, he was quickly up and out of the car. They drug the spare down today and ready to get after it here this evening. Driver rolling in behind him comes to us at a Banbury Oxfordshire United Kingdom from the Skegness Raceway. Neil Stuckberry Motors, Claxton Maxim Chassis, Project 12 Spray Coating, 7nice.com, Honda Pack number 84. That is Tom Harris. Harris with a 13th place finish last night. Second best run of the week Wednesday, an 11th place run for the driver of the number 84. Looking over towards turns 3 and 4, we've got Justin Grant out of Ione, California. Another team that was battling some mechanical gremlins, a vibration on that machine, making the car near impossible to drive and almost nearly impossible to see as it was vibrating so hard. In fact, it was enough that it was actually spitting the bleeder out on the left side, and that was what was causing the tires to go down. Pretty much from the engine plate back, they replaced everything yesterday, said zero vibration, and felt pretty good, and it showed. He came up with a 6th place run behind the wheel of the NOS Energy Drink, KBV Logistics, Top Industries, AMSOIL, G&G Racing Fuels, number 4. And a driver looking to turn his luck around here tonight out of Oxnard, California, the Superior Tank and Trailer, Physical Medicine Consultant, Sensland DRC, Haley Motorsports, Morris Farms, Mesilla Valley Transportation, number 41, that is Ricky Lewis. Ricky Lewis in the number 41. Best run so far this week, opening night of Volusia, 16th place. Since then, has not been able to get out of the 20s. A 20th the following night, 22nd on Wednesday, 23rd, and a 21st place finish. Credited for the driver, the number 41. So Ryan Harrison had been the quickest driver on track at a Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1 to 16.282. He's been dropped to 3rd. Robert Ballou, 16.028. Going to the top of the charts here, and that's Suburban Subaru, number 12. First driver down to the 15-second bracket, 15.726. Tom Harris, second quick at 15.048. As Kevin Thomas Jr. comes around, picks up speed. Lap 3, his best run so far, 15.636. So two drivers sitting in the 15-second bracket right now. KTJ and Robert Ballou. Tom Harris, Justin Grant, Ryan Harris in your top 5. Trey Osborne, Briggs Danner, Logan Calderwood, Ricky Lewis, and Gunnar Setzer currently make up the top 10 in Dirt Draft Hot Laps running order. Position from 1st to 10th, 1.304 seconds. So as we've seen throughout the course of action here at the Ocala Speedway, we'll let the drivers roll around, go where they see fit, and then we will set them loose for another green-white checkered session. Two more flights of Dirt Draft Hot Laps to go. We'll have our hot laps for our qualifying race number 3. Then we'll have our Dash Hot Lap drivers come out. So drivers from Dirt Draft Hot Lap Session number 2 will make their way back into the pit area. Round 3 about to make its way out to the Speedway. And again, you still have time to download the Dirt Draft app and play along. Set up your league. Again, 3 different leagues to choose from, the predictive questioning and more. Also, don't forget to download the My Race Pass app. The United States Auto Club now featured on My Race Pass. Live timing and scoring, lineups, results, rosters, all right in the palm of your hand. If you're a new subscriber to a premium membership, remember to go to myracepass.com/USAC26 and use that promo code USAC26 when signing up to get $20 off your premium yearly subscription. So Group 3 of Dirt Draft Hot Laps out to the Speedway. First driver getting the push is going to be Cale Coons at Greencastle, Indiana. The Curb Records, Coletta Charters, Mechanical Advantage, Dueling Autosport, Quebec-Ajanian, number 63. Best run of the week, opening night of Winter Dirt Games, a 10th at Volusia. Last night, a 17th place finish for the driver of the number 63 machine. Rolling on to the back straightaway at W, Louisiana, the Pendleton Farms, West River Trailer Sales, Claxon DRC, Hoosier Valvoline, Wilwood DMI number 2B. That is Shelby Hinton. Shelby Hinton in the number 2B. Last night, his best run of the week so far, a 12th place finish for the Louisiana racer. Jaden Rogers making his way into turn number 3 right now. The American Dream Racing, Beasley's Railcar Repair, Spec DRC Chassis, Alchemy Engineering, K1 Race Gear number 14. Last night's Sober Joe Recovery of the Night recipient picked up that extra $100 as he was able to come back to a 10th place finish last night. That will be his best run of Winter Dirt Games so far. Having to bring the backup car out as something in the steering came apart on the entrance at turn number 1, and the car never turned and careened into the concrete. So C.J. Leary tonight behind the wheel of the Kodiak Products, Trepigno Trucking, Highsmith Guns, One-Way DRC, number 24. Hunter Maddox supplying the backup car for C.J. Leary in case he needed it. And tonight that car makes its way out onto the Speedway. So the crash, unfortunately, relegating him to an 18th place finish last night. 4th place on the opening night of Volusia, 7th. The next 2 nights, a 12th on Thursday and an 18th last night for the driver who has won here on 2 occasions. Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California. The Inland Rigging, Snake Enterprises, Roll Scaffolding, One-Way DRC, Fine Line Drafting, Apache Transport, Burris Racing, Dirt Roots Digital, number 5T. 9th place finish last night. His best run so far this week at Ocala, a 5th. Of course, got the win at Volusia. On night number 2, he was 6th the opening night. A 2-time winner in 2025, including his first as an owner-driver out in Amarillo in October. As everybody getting wound up, green lights will come on. We're underway here in round 3 of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Jaden Rogers, the quickest driver on track for this session, second quick overall, a 15.261. Robert Ballou remains the quickest driver thus far at a 15.150. Justin Grant, third quick at 15.359. Tom Harris, a 15.389. And Shelby Hinton is fifth quick at a 15.494. As drivers, just like we've seen throughout the opening two flights of Dirt Draft Hot Laps, they will roll under the caution. We'll set them loose once again. Again, Sober Joe's Coffee, they're going to be coming out here at the conclusion of these Hot Lap sessions, and they will be taking donations. Again, that is for the Oxford House here in Ocala. You can find out more at oxfordhouse.org. It is a self-run, self-supported home for individuals in recovery from substance use disorders. And since 1975, they've provided 3,500 houses. So check them out, and we ask that you please support Sober Joe in their efforts to help raise funds for the Oxford House. $15,100. Jaden Rogers, quickest overall out of the three flights of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Shelby Hinton ends up second quick at a 15.112. Robert Ballou, 15.150. Jake Swanson, 15.277. And Justin Grant ends up fifth quick at 15.359. Tom Harris, Kevin Thomas Jr., Kel Coons, C.J. Leary, and Ricky Lewis end up making it the top 10. Real quick, let's go down to Drake.
C.J. Leary ends up ninth in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. As a matter of fact, Brian, he is slowing to a stop here on the front stretch, but you talked about it earlier. Hunter Maddox's car here tonight that he's running, that was the backup car they brought down. Only one primary that CJ had. And Hunter Maddox has put in a lot this week to help CJ out. It's actually Hunter Maddox's trailer they've been using all week for the Leary Racing Team number 30 machine. Hunter has also spent a lot of time spinning the spanners on that car too, and to now bring down his own personal race car for CJ to finish out the week. We can't let it go unstated. That is a massive commitment throughout the week for Hunter Maddox, but especially tonight to have his race car on track here with CJ Leary behind the wheel.
Indeed, thank you very much. As our final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps making its way out to the Speedway. These are the drivers who are locked in to tonight's feature event. They'll be in the Fast Dash after they redraw for their starting positions. The dash will be 6 laps. The heat race winners will join these drivers in that dash, and that will establish the opening 8 starting spots in tonight's 40-lap, 10,000-win feature event. So a last check. Once this hot lap session wraps up, these drivers will stop down on the front straightaway, and they will redraw for that starting position. Starting things off with last night's feature winner at Fort Branch, Indiana, driving the England Machine and Tool, Lucas Oil Center, Kistler, DRC, Moose Racing, Ted Brown Quality Paint and Body, Superior Tank and Trailer number 92. This is Chase Stockon here on the front straightaway. Stockon in the number 92. Rolling around to the near side of the racetrack at Raisin City, California, the AME Electrical, Stanton's Bike Chassis, Reinbold Underwood Motorsports number 19 AZ. This is Mitchell Moles. Mitchell Moles in the 19 AZ. Just past the flag stand, that is the Macho Man, Brady Bacon at a Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The Concord American flagpole, Racer Magazine, Jim Weed, Chris Dyson, Rider XXX number 20. And at a Princeton, Indiana, the Avanti Windows and Doors, Jugo Superfoods, Premier Recycling, Apache Transport, Lucas Oil Center. Petty Performance number 3P, this is Kyle Cummins. Kyle Cummins also carrying the P1 Australia on board here this evening. As we get a look at that here on the FloRacing broadcast. And despite issues yesterday, contact with the wall, a couple of trips to the end-of-middle finishing work area, and an engine absolutely gumming up in smoke in the closing laps, he was able to hold on and lock into the feature tonight. The Mountain Mechanical Contractors, Drop Light, Indy Power Sports, Stanton DRC, Forecheck Marketing, Abacus Racing number 57 of Logan Seavey. Not a mosquito left in the county after the final 2 laps of last night's feature event, as the rod made its exit on the number 57 last night. Getting a look at the 19 AZ of Mitchell Moles there for a second. The 57 of Logan Seavey. Winter night number 1 at Volusia. Second the following night. A third on Wednesday. Back at Victory Lane on Thursday. An 11th place run last night. Smoke screen and all. Already up to 3 overall wins on the 2026 season. The Chillable Nationals prelim win. And then a pair of wins down here during Winter Dirt Games. The 20 of Brady Bacon. Couple of shots of silver. Night number 1 of Volusia. Thursday night as well, a second place finish. His Ocala runs overall an 8th, a 2nd, and a 4th. Getting a look at Kyle Cummins in the 3P again, carrying that on-board shot here this evening. As he makes his way through turn 22 and onto the far side of the Speedway. Runner-up last night, a 3rd place on Thursday, a 3rd place on Wednesday. Looking back to Volusia, 10th of night number 2 and an 11th place run to open up the 2026 season. Chase Stockon in the 92. 8th both nights at Volusia. A 2nd, a 5th, and a win has been his performance so far here at Ocala. And right now he is the quickest driver on track with a 14.708. Mitchell Moles 14.778. Kyle Cummins 14.987. Logan Seavey 15.045. And Brady Bacon 15.052. So Chase Stockon will be the quickest driver in Dirt Draft Hot Laps, a 14.667, his 4th time around, his best attempt. Mitchell Moles, a 14.778. Brady Bacon, his last time around, jumped him to 4th quick at a 14.972. Kyle Cummins, or Brady Bacon 3rd quick rather. Kyle Cummins is 4th quick at a 14.987. Logan Seavey, 15.045. Then Rogers, Hinton, Ballou, Swanson, and Grant, your 10 quickest drivers. Difference from 1st to 10th is 0.692 seconds. See if they can find a little bit more speed as we continue to roll the cars around. Mod Light qualifying up. Coming up here in just a little bit. In 3 qualifying groups for 3 heat races. Drivers qualifying within their groups. with the IMCA Stealth Racing mod lights. So just about ready to wind things back up here in your final flight of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Kyle Cummins finding a little bit more speed. He goes to the top at a 14.296. Chase Stockon 14.306. Mitchell Moles 14.433. Brady Bacon 14.498. And Logan Seavey ends up fifth quick at 14.675. Rogers, Hinton, Blue, Swanson, and Grant. Drivers will come to a stop here in the front straightaway. They'll make their way up and out of the cars, and we will have them redraw for their starting position for the Fast Dash. It'll be come up here in just a little bit. Again, your qualifying winners, rather, will all go on into that dash as well. They will line up behind these 5 drivers in order of qualifying race. So drivers coming up out of the car, and Drake, how does it go with the redraw?
So how this will work with our redraw for our top 5 drivers in points, we'll invite them up to the stage here on the infield of Ocala Speedway. The top 5 in points over the course of our stay here at Ocala Speedway will draw one of our 5 Amsoil hats on the stage. On the back of those hats, there is a number 1 through 5. The hat they draw is where they'll start in tonight's Fast Dash here for the finale of Winter Dirt Games presented by Yokohama Tires. First driver to make his way over here is your high point driver, the Avante Windows and Doors Petty Performance Racing 3P of Kyle Cummins. Kyle, they're cheering for you. You're cheering for you. Kyle, no secret about it, a really good week. I'd just like to point out to you, in your last 2 races here at Ocala, you were 3rd, 2nd, so natural progression says you're winning tonight.
That's right. It feels pretty good. Might as well just keep it going.
All right, we'll let him draw one of the hats there. We'll have him flip it around. Kyle's going to get the 3. So it matches the car number, not the one he was drawing. And as a matter of fact, race fans, he's going to sign this hat along with our other 4 redraw drivers, and they're going to come through the crossover gate on the front stretch to give you one of those signed hats. So you definitely want to stick around for that. It's Kyle putting the John Hancock on that hat. Second in points, next to draw, last night's winner in the Moose Racing 92, Chase Stockon. Chase, I don't know who was more excited last night, you or your car owner, Tom Sertich. And I think Tom, I don't know what Tom would do if he were to be in victory lane again here tonight with you. He's sure giving you a run for your money in the fun department lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of fun last night, but I think he took the cake there. So, hopefully we get these guys another good finish here, get a good draw spot for this dash, and see if we can lead all 40 tonight.
All right, let's see what hat he picks up here. He's going down to the end of the line. It's the 4, so Chase Stockon will start 4th in tonight's dash. Same thing that we did with Kyle Cummins. Chase will get a nice silver Sharpie on that. And take it up to you race fans in the stands. Next to draw, Southern California's Logan Seavey. Logan, last night, wild, but still nonetheless you've been able to put yourself in a really good spot. Just talk about the consistency that it's taken to get to this point, even with the few bumps in the road.
Yeah, just luckily we got off to such a good start that we were able to have a bad night and still lock us in here and still at the moment be leading the points for winner games. So yeah, it just says how good Kirk and Danny and T-Bone and Chris and Vinny have been doing, how good of a job they've been doing for me and how good of a race car they've given me every night. For those first 3 or 4 nights to run so good, and then me to run it in the fence last night and then still have a car that was capable of getting back up to the field. So, yeah, just hats off to those guys. And, my car owners back home watching this race, Brent and John, I know they put a lot into this. I'm sure they've been tuned in every night. So, yeah, I also want to give a shout-out to the Harvey family with Mountain Mechanical and everybody with Drop Light and Indy Power Sports and all of our partners, DRC Chassis, CSI Shocks. Yeah, everybody that kind of makes this thing go up and down the road. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun this trip, and hopefully we could end it up with a good finish here tonight.
He'll pick out one of the Amsoil hats. Remember, the front row and the pole is still out there. What does Seavey get? It's the 5. So Seavey will be the last of the lock-in cars to roll off for the Fast Dash. So now the question has to be asked. We know this guy is going to be on the front row, and he's going to be tough to beat. Race fans, make some noise for the Macho Man, Brady Bacon. Brady, I feel like it's been one of those traditional weeks for you. It's very quiet and very consistent, but the big money's on the line. This is always the night I feel like the Macho Man shows up to play. How you feeling?
Yeah, we've been really fast all week. Had some stuff just not go our way and had to battle through it. And, yeah, starting in the front definitely helps here. It's been kind of hard to pass regardless if it's heavy or dry. I think all the cars in the front are just kind of good, and it doesn't really matter how the track is. They're going to be hard to pass. So getting that out of the way is definitely helpful. So we'll hopefully we will get a good number here for the dash and make some adjustments, try to get a good smooth dash, and then we got 40 long laps for the feature, and we'll see what we got.
All right, Brady Bacon's going to pick out one of those hats. Will it be inside or outside for the Macho Man, Brady Bacon? It's the 1. Brady Bacon will roll from the pole in tonight's Fast Dash, and that leaves one more driver to draw. Driving the Reinbold Underwood AME Electrical 19AZ, it's Mitchell Moles. Mitchell, so for going in for the last lock-in car, I'm sure you got to be really excited to pull the outside of the front row here.
Yeah, I feel like it's always better to go last in these deals. Just, I don't know, you just get what you get. I told you guys when we come in here, we have a better shot than drawing a 5. So, thankfully, Logan drew the 5. That'll push him back there a little bit farther, but he's been so fast lately, and they've been so good. So, just got to work on our car, just got to get better. I can make laps on that all day long, but it's when it gets slick and technical and stuff when it gets a little more challenging for me. So, goes back to race car. Just got to work on the race car and keep working on that thing and getting it better. This is definitely a tricky joint, and the lines keep changing every night. And I feel like the bottom was good for a little while last night, and then it kind of went away. And then I felt like on the restart it might have been better again. And I don't know. It's just it's been a whirlwind for me trying to figure out this joint. Florida's always quote unquote kicked my ass. So thankful to be up here. Thankful for the opportunity, and we'll just see what we got tonight.
Mitchell Moles will make it official here. Please don't drop that. It's the 2, so Mitchell Moles will roll from the outside of the front row. The first 5 of the Fast Dash have been set, Brian Holbert. Now how it works tonight with the qualifiers, the winners of the qualifiers will tag behind the top 5 in lock-in cars. So whoever wins the first qualifier of the evening will start 6th, so on and so forth until we get our 8-car starting lineup for the dash here for the finale of Winter Dirt Games presented by Yokohama Tires.
Thank you very much. The cars will be pushed back into the pit area. We will bring out our IMCA Stealth Racing Mod Lights for their qualifiers. Qualifying sets also serving as their hot laps, and it is straight up by their time to establish their heat race lineups in each one of these qualifying groups. Again, 50-50 tickets. She is down at the base of the grandstands right now, making her way through, so you can flag down your 50-50 seller here. And again, half of the money into your pocket, the other half going to help one of Ocala's staff who is battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Update on a couple of drivers this week. Kobe Simpson getting upside down in a big way to open up action here at Ocala during the start of the feature event. Unfortunately, his car got behind the wheel of one of the Howard Racing number 13s last night. Unfortunately, the engine letting go, so Kobe done for the week. And also Hayden Reinbold taking a very hard tumble down the back straightaway. Was out yesterday, was not sure if they would compete here tonight, and Hayden going ahead and bowing out from competition. As initially reported, they did load him up, and the question as to whether or not they would have to transport him or not, thankfully that was not the case. They did a quick evaluation on him. They were able to take him back to the trailer, and he has been spectating ever since. So your first qualifying run for the Mod Lights makes its way out. Jaden McDowell out of Tennessee in the 722 set to be on track. James Very from here in Florida in the 3. Riley Clement of California. Mechanical woes striking him last night. See if he can rebound and have a decent run here this evening in the 9C. Dylan Pierman at a Port St. Lucie in the 777. The 13 of Sam Blaze out of Quebec City. Billy Beard out of Farmington, Missouri in the 28B. The 8 of Scott Jordan out of Vidor, Texas. Brennan Benson out of Hart Scramble, Delaware in the 88. In the 721, Jean-Francois LeBlanc. He's out of Wickham, Quebec, Canada. So 4 laps. Again, drivers will get 4 laps to establish their qualifying time. So drivers getting word on the receiver to get spread out, get wound up, and ready to go here into our opening qualifying group. And green lights come on. And again, 4 laps for these drivers to establish their qualifying time and their heat race lineup. Opening lap in times coming across. Scott Jordan, 17.504. So far the quickest driver on track. In fact, he's the only driver in the 17-second bracket. A difference of just nearly 0.8 of a second, 0.759 between him and Braden Benson. His opening lap was an 18.256. Line number 2, better for Scott Jordan, 17.497. Billy Beard now going to jump up to second quick. 0.7 of a second off of the pace of Jordan, though, an 18.203. Again, these cars, if you're just joining us for the first time, is a 5/8 scale of an IMCA modified, and they utilize a 1,000cc either stock or spec engine. Checkered flag flying. Billy Beard's best attempt, his final time around. Good enough for second quick, 18.066, but nobody as quick as Scott Jordan, 17.497. So Jordan, Beard, then Benson, Clem, then Pierman will be your top 5 starters in heat race number 1. LeBlanc, Very, Blaze, and McDowell not showing a time on the 722. 18.411 being told by timing and scoring. So that should put him 4th quick. '88 coming to a stop here at the bottom side, entering turn number 1 as qualifying group number 2. Will make its way out. Robbie Throop in the 55, the 7B of Wayne Smith, Tim White in the 16, Joseph Dunlap in the 11, Ryan McKinney in the V75, Bill Leonard in the 28, Richard Houston in the 41, Brandon Sturgis, the Delaware racer, in the 10BG, and the 11C, Carson Hubbard out of Ohio. Set to be on track for this qualifying group. Florida, Maryland, Tennessee, Delaware, and Ohio drivers. All on track. Down at the USAC merchandise trailer until 8:30. Winter Dirt Games shirts are 2 for $50. Normally it'd be $60, so you get a $10 discount for the next hour and a half until 8:30. That is trackside only. You can make your way back to the USAC merchandise trailer. Online at usacgear.com, you can use code VDAY for free online shipping. So if you are buying online, VDAY is the code you can use for free shipping. But again, here trackside, Winter Dirt Game shirts, going to get a discount when you buy 2 of them. Normally it'd be $60. We're going to knock $10 off, and that sale ends at 8:30. Times coming across in the opening lap. Carson Hubbard, quickest, 18.316. Ryan McKinney, 18.551. Dunlap at 18.566. Throop, his second time around, a better time at 18.856. But Tim White with a better time than him, 18.809, takes over that 4th spot. And Ryan McKinney coming around, second time at speed, better, 18.105. He will jump to the top of the charts. Checker flag for qualifying group number 2 for your Mod Lights. Ryan McKinney, fastest, and he will be on the pole of heat race number 2, 18.087 seconds, his 4th lap. His best attempt. Carson Hubbard, second quick. Joseph Dunlap, third quick. Brandon Sturgis and Robbie Throop ends up 5th quick. White, Smith, Houston, and Leonard. So round 2 in, round 3 going to make its way out here in just a moment. So this group of drivers out to the Speedway should include Jeffrey Bernet-Lacombe in the 57, Corey Babbitt in the 12. He's out of New Caney, Texas. Tennessee driver Leighton Bennett in the B7, the 56, Larry Hubbard Jr. at a Cape Coral. Jagger Beard at a Farmington, Missouri in the 35. Brandon Dennis at a Greenwood, Delaware in the 10B. The LR8 of Ronnie Schote at a Cookeville, Tennessee. Pierce Aiken, last night's winner in the 25. And Tyler Gary Royal Palm Beach, Florida, the 26. Set to round out the list of drivers slated for this qualifying group. Special thanks to General Elevator Solutions, putting up an extra $500 into the purse and therefore eliminating the semi-feature event for the mod lights, and everybody will be able to take the green in the feature event. Of course, Stealth Racing, the title sponsor of the IMCA mod lights. Also want to thank Superior Race Cars, Innovation Industries Incorporated, Pro Painters, Edge Elevator Products, Sunoco Race Fuels, and Dirts for Racing. Clock started at Corey Babbitt, 17.736. Will be the mark for everybody to aim for here. Lap number 1 so far. Babbitt remains atop. Second time around, quicker, 17.710, a 17.784 for Brandon Dennis, close on his opening lap. So far, that lap time holds. Pierce Aiken coming around and saying, I can do better, 17.568. He will go up top. So Aiken 17.568, Corey Babbitt a 17.615 as the field begins to race under the checker flag. Aiken will hold on, and he will have the pole in heat race number 3, 17.568. Babbitt, 17.615. Brandon Dennis, 17.760. Ronnie Schote, 17.819. Jagger Beard, and 18.496. Bennett, Hubbard, Gary, and Bernet Lacombe at a 24.51. So with that, we'll have just a little bit of time here. Crews will come out and do a little bit of work to the racetrack. We'll see if any lines get laid up onto the concrete so drivers can differentiate between the edge of the track and the edge of the wall. In the meantime, we will go to a quick break here on FloRacing. Opening ceremony slated for 7:15. Again, 7:15 is what I'm being told for opening ceremonies here tonight. That does give you time to grab yourself something to eat and something to drink. Again, those Winter Dirt Game on a 2-for special right now on T-shirts at the USAC merchandise trailer. For the next hour and a half, 8:30 p.m. is the cutoff. Trackside only for those. Again, $10 off when you buy 2 Winter Dirt Game T-shirts, and supplies are limited. But here on Flo, we'll be back.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence.